Double team comes over, nothing there. Turnover. Nicoletti Lete. She'll keep it herself and gets the layup.
That's right. She still was looking for that 2-on-1 pass. Anytime Fairfield turns the back, watch out for two players from Mount St. Mary's to go for the ball.
Nicoletti Lete, yes.
There she is, Nicoletti Lete with that great shot.
Lamro, quick hands. Nicoletti Lete. And what a start here for the Stags. Nicoletti Lete, good hard hedge there for Traore. Shot clock down to 8 here for Fairfield. And Nicoletti Lete, this time off the bounce. 5 early for her on senior night.
In February, Fairfield had 42 paints, but Sacred Heart had 44 points in the paint as Nicoletti Lete high up the window. But Fairfield doesn't get bullied in the paint all that much this year at Warri. He's a Nicoletti Lete with her 4 assists, drives inside, gets it to go in.
Big bucket there by Isa, who just took it over.
Well, they quickly respond here to get it back to 12. Nicoletti Lete for 3. 39% from...
And then finishing with Merrimack at home, Canisius and Niagara on the road, the latter of which will likely be eliminated from playoff contention at the end of the night as Nicoletti Lete knocks in that 3. There's a magic number that if Fairfield can get to, it's nearly game over. And in fact, here we go as Fairfield get the basket.
Steal for Lamoureux. Fairfield looking for early offense. Nicoletti Lete rattles home the 3, and she's been more aggressive this season on the outside. Patient offense here for the Stags. Nicoletti Lete sees Juric out on her and goes right by her for 2.
Super strong take. Again, lane opens up. She understands.
Marist one grinded out in the half court. Lamro spots Nicoletti Lete for 3. They've got a double-digit lead.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they do day in and day out. Transition, keeping the floor spread, kicking out.
Nicoletti Lete turns the corner and lays it in. Nicoletti Lete directing traffic. Takes the co-screen, flicks the wrist, and knocks down another.
Morgan Lee stayed home on that screen.
Here in the second. But because of the fast pace, Fairfield has been able to grow their lead, and it extends further. Nicoletti Lete's second 3.
And again, Fairfield looking to push tempo. We're going to see a lot of this from Fairfield. Can they find that quick outlet pass off the rebound as Nicoletti Lete knocks in the 3?
And of course, she picks up right where...
He's had a couple of those already today, the sophomore. In fact, for Anderson, that's her 4th. Nicoletti Lete, it's good. She's always good for a couple of those. Isa Nicoletti Lete. A really tough place to play, and Merrimack actually had a possession to take the lead in the final 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. Then, of course, the Mount game that the Mount won in overtime. Joe Raffalo had to stick a 3 right at the buzzer base. Fairfield not able to find Anderson. Nicoletti Lete late in the shot clock. Has to turn and trigger and banks it in. Doesn't matter what hour it is, the bank is always open. November. And the Sooners put up 38 on Fairfield, but they're 22 in the paint. Anderson met by a double team, kicks back. Nicoletti Lete late in the shot clock, banks it in. 4 personal fouls.
Yeah.
So
let's pick your poison.
Exactly. Nicoletti Lete gets free. It's good from deep. Isa in double figures with 11.
To put together 2 halves here, and that will hurt you.
It was at the end of that schedule, Merrimack on the road as Nicoletti Lete reins that in for a 3. Merrimack
mark a lot in their half-court offense on the shot clock.
Kendall Magruder also into the game as Nicoletti Lete just attacks and lays it up and in.
Key word there is attacks. They recognize it.
Anderson, the league's Rookie of the Year last year and a first-team All-MAC player. Nicoletti Lete, her 3, dead on.
Again, make them dribble. I mean, that was dead on.
Nicoletti Lete gets past Ray Pineda and lays it up and in.
That's just too easy. they're finishing on the right side of the basket with their strong arm. And
Megan Anderson. Nicoletti Leite, wide open shot, nothing but net.
But again, the ball was in that left corner, right corner.
Nicoletti Leite to inbound. Puts it
Oh
off.
my
Marley
goodness, so
Dickerson's
smart.
back up off the glass
Wow.
for two, and to close it out here in the first quarter. The
Stags looking for more off the turnover. Nicoletti Leite, 4-3. Off balance at the end of the quarter of a third that has belonged to Fairfields.
Have ice hockey facilities as their home. That pass batted back to Nicoletti Leite. A bit of contact from Fiore, but Isa scores. The grad student from Sao Paulo, Brazil, has really upped the offense.
In this first half, that's not a surprise. We've seen her really show up in second halves of games.
Izabela Nicoletti Leite drops a triple for Fairfields. Nicoletti Leite has a corner three. It's a 13-2 run.